Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Are you ready to embark on a spine-tingling journey to some of the most haunted places on Earth? Buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into a world of unexplained phenomena and ghostly apparitions. From the sprawling halls of haunted mansions to the eerie silence of abandoned asylums, we'll uncover the dark secrets and terrifying truths behind these infamous locations. Imagine a house so vast, so labyrinthine that it seems to go on forever. That's the Winchester Mystery House in San Jose, California. This architectural oddity was built by Sarah Winchester, the widow of the Winchester rifle magnate. Legend has it that Sarah was plagued by guilt over the countless lives taken by her husband's invention. So, she consulted a psychic who told her to keep building, to appease the spirits of those who had fallen victim to the Winchester rifle. For 38 years, construction continued non-stop, resulting in a bizarre maze of staircases that lead to nowhere, doors that open to brick walls and windows that look into other rooms. Visitors and staff have reported hearing footsteps, doors slamming shut on their own, and even seeing the ghostly figure of Sarah Winchester herself, still wandering the halls of her never-ending home. Even if you're not a die-hard horror fan, you've probably heard whispers of the Amityville Horror House. This seemingly ordinary-looking Dutch colonial house in Long Island, New York, became infamous in 1974 when Ronald DeFeo Jr. shot and killed 6 members of his family inside. Just a year later, the Lutz family moved in, only to flee in terror after just 28 days, claiming to have been tormented by a series of paranormal events. We're talking about green slime oozing from the walls, swarms of flies in the dead of winter, disembodied voices, and even the appearance of demonic eyes peering from the darkness. The Lutz family's terrifying tale sent shockwaves through the nation, turning their former home into a beacon for paranormal investigators and curious onlookers alike. Was it a case of mass hysteria, or did the horrific murders somehow imbue the house with a malevolent energy that tormented anyone who dared to cross its threshold? Our next stop takes us across the pond to England, a land steeped in history and, you guessed it, haunted houses. Nestled in the picturesque countryside of Essex lies what was once known as the most haunted house in England, the Borley Rectory. This Victorian-era mansion was plagued by tales of paranormal activity for over a century, attracting the attention of psychics, researchers, and ghost hunters eager to catch a glimpse of the supernatural. From phantom footsteps and unexplained noises to sightings of a ghostly nun roaming the grounds, and a phantom coach driven by a headless horseman, the Borley Rectory had it all. The most famous resident of this haunted house was a spectral nun, said to be the spirit of a young woman who had fallen in love with a monk from a nearby monastery. Sadly, the Borley Rectory was destroyed by a fire in 1939. But the legends live on, cementing its place as one of the most intriguing and unsettling haunted houses in history. Now we're heading down south to Louisiana, a place where the Spanish moss hangs heavy and the ghost stories are even heavier. Welcome to the Myrtles Plantation, a stunning antebellum mansion with a dark and twisted past. This grand old plantation is said to be haunted by at least 12 different ghosts, each with their own tragic tale to tell. But the most famous resident of the Myrtles Plantation is Chloe, a slave girl who met a tragic end. Legend has it that Chloe was caught eavesdropping on a private conversation and, as punishment, had one of her ears cut off. Seeking revenge, Chloe baked a poisoned cake for her slave master and his family, but, in a cruel twist of fate, the wrong people ate the cake, leading to the deaths of the master's wife and 2 daughters. Chloe was caught and hanged for her crimes, and her tortured soul is said to wander the plantation to this day, often seen wearing a green turban to conceal her missing ear. Next up, we're hopping continents again, this time to the land down under Australia. Brace yourselves for the chilling tale of the Monte Cristo Homestead, a sprawling Victorian mansion located in Junee, New South Wales. The Monte Cristo Homestead is widely regarded as the most haunted house in Australia, and for good reason. Its history is a gruesome tapestry woven from tragic accidents, untimely deaths, and unexplained phenomena that would send shivers down your spine. The Crawley family, the original owners of the Monte Cristo Homestead, experienced their fair share of tragedy within its walls. A young boy tragically tumbled down the grand staircase, a maid was found dead at the bottom of the same staircase, allegedly pushed by an unseen force, and the caretaker met an untimely end in the stables. Visitors have reported seeing the ghost of Mrs. Crawley, still mourning the loss of her family, and hearing the disembodied laughter of children echoing through the halls. Back to England we go, this time to the charming village of Watton-under-Edge in Gloucestershire. Here we find the ancient Ram Inn, a 12th century inn with a dark and sinister past. Before it became a cozy pub, the ancient Ram Inn served a much more chilling purpose. It was a pagan burial ground. As you can imagine, building a pub on top of a burial ground is a surefire recipe for paranormal activity, and the ancient Ram Inn doesn't disappoint. Over the years, guests and staff have reported a chilling array of supernatural occurrences, including disembodied voices, cold spots, and the feeling of being touched by unseen hands. The ancient Ram Inn is also said to be haunted by a succubus, a demonic entity that preys on men in their sleep, and the spirits of children who were supposedly sacrificed in pagan rituals centuries ago. If you're brave enough to spend the night at the ancient Ram Inn, be prepared for a sleepless night filled with bumps in the night and the chilling sensation that you're not alone. Next on our list, our next stop is one you won't want to miss. Nestled amidst the breathtaking Rocky Mountains in Estes Park, Colorado, stands the Stanley Hotel. A grand hotel that served as the chilling inspiration for Stephen King's iconic novel, The Shining. King and his wife Tabitha spent a night at the Stanley Hotel in 1974, and it was during their stay that the seeds of The Shining were sown. King was particularly drawn to room 217, where he claimed to have experienced a vivid nightmare that would later form the basis of his chilling tale. Today, the Stanley Hotel embraces its haunted reputation, offering ghost tours and even screening The Shining on a continuous loop in the guest rooms. Guests and staff have reported all sorts of strange occurrences, including phantom piano music echoing through the empty halls, the laughter of children playing on the fourth floor, and the ghostly apparitions of former guests. Our next stop takes us to Villisca, Iowa, where we'll delve into one of the most gruesome unsolved murders in American history. The Villisca Axe Murder House, a seemingly ordinary two-story house on a quiet street, became the scene of a horrific crime in 1912 when 6 members of the Moore family and 2 young guests were brutally murdered in their sleep with an axe. The killer was never caught, and the house has stood empty ever since, shrouded in an eerie silence that's more unsettling than any ghostly moan. Over the years, the Villisca Axe Murder House has become a popular destination for paranormal investigators and curious onlookers alike, drawn to the house's dark history and the possibility of encountering the lingering spirits of the victims. Visitors have reported a range of unsettling experiences, including cold spots, disembodied voices, and the feeling of being watched. Our next stop takes us to St. Louis, Missouri, to the imposing Lemp Mansion, a stately home with a tragic past that continues to haunt its halls. The Lemp family, once prominent figures in the brewing industry, experienced a string of misfortunes and untimely deaths that cast a dark shadow over their once grand abode. 4 members of the Lemp family, William Lemp Sr., William Lemp Jr., Charles Lemp and Elsa Lemp Wright, died by suicide within the mansion's walls, each death adding another layer of sorrow and despair to the house's already heavy atmosphere. Visitors and staff have reported a range of unexplained phenomena, including seeing ghostly figures and orbs, hearing noises, observing phantom movements in rooms, feeling a sense of male presence, and feeling a shiver and developing goosebumps. Some even claim to have encountered the ghostly apparitions of the Lemp family members themselves, still wandering the halls of their former home, searching for peace they can never find. Our final stop on this spine-tingling journey takes us to sunny San Diego, California, to a house that's said to be haunted by more than just memories. The Whaley House, a Greek revival-style mansion, has a long and storied past, serving as a family home, a courthouse, and even a theater. But it's the house's connection to death and the afterlife that has cemented its reputation as one of the most haunted houses in America. The Whaley family, who built the house in 1857, experienced their fair share of tragedy within its walls, including the death of their young son and the suicide of Violet Eloise Whaley, who was 22 years old at the time of her death. To this day, visitors and staff report a range of paranormal activity. They have reported hearing disembodied voices, seeing ghostly figures, experiencing cold spots, and witnessing objects moving on their own within the house. To the ghostly apparition of Yankee Jim Robinson, who was hanged where the house was built, he was hanged for stealing a boat. So, there you have it. The top most haunted houses in the world, each with its own unique blend of history, tragedy, and unexplained phenomena. If you enjoy this journey into the heart of the paranormal, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your fellow ghost enthusiasts, and subscribe to the channel for more creepy content coming your way. Until next time, sleep tight, and don't let the ghosts bite.